Well, it's the end of the season and it's time to ruin a perfectly running and driving car. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's actually not the end of the season. The season's about to start, but we're gonna drive the 46 M3, first a few events, maybe more. So that gives me time to work on, to tear into the E36 and do some upgrades that I've been trying to do for honestly like last 4 or 5 years. Well, 4 or 5, 2-3 years. But usually like every year about this time we would inspect the engine and we would find something a little off. Well, last year was something a little off, previous years it was something bad. So we would have to take the engine out and send it to Texas Speed, get it refreshed, put it back. Finally, I feel like we got a good recipe. The last season went good. We had no issues. I drained the oil, everything was great. We always had pressure, we always had everything. So looks like we're good. We don't have to get the engine out. And I have, like I said, I have time to do cool upgrades that I wanted to do on the car. Kind of like to take the car to the next level in terms of reliability, simplicity, and make the car ready for like some power adder if we need it down the line. But why am I doing this? So the biggest thing I want to do this year is I want to convert the engine from engine mounts to an engine plate. Last year we had uneven cylinder wear, and one of the reasons it could have been because my engine is mounted on hard mounts. And I saw and I read a bunch of stuff. Here's the mounts. I read a bunch of stuff that when you have the engine mounted on hard mounts, especially on aluminum block, as the engine expands, it doesn't have where to expand because the mounts are holding it together too tight. So that creates an uneven expansion of the aluminum, which causes the warpage in the cylinders, which causes the pistons to wear the cylinders unevenly. So the best way to eliminate any of that is an engine plate. There's like a few things going on together. I need to get rid of the mounts, I need to relocate the alternator, and I need to relocate the alternator somewhere where it doesn't have when I have space for the supercharger over here. First thing I want to do is install the engine plate. The easiest way I think would be to fit this inside the engine bay is put it on a cardboard, trace it so we have a cardboard template, and then mess with the cardboard template, get it as close as possible, and then transfer the template back onto the aluminum piece and then cut it once. Because other than that, if you don't do that, first it's going to be hard to cut all the time. Second, if you mess up and make too much of a cut, you're kind of screwed and you have to buy a new piece.
Several days later.
Well, this piece finally broke. So that's kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And I also looks like I'm gonna have interference with this line over here. So I decided to just cut it because that's not really the piece I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is this piece. So I cut this one short when I was just starting, thinking I'm not gonna need all of that. Turns out I do. So I'll just account for another ½ an inch on this side when I transfer this back to the template. I already have this bolted here so it doesn't move. Now I gotta start probably gonna remove this piece over here, and I gotta start working on this side. If you guys look, I don't have any of these holes. I don't have them here. So technically I can just cut this like this, and because this piece is not gonna do anything, just get in the way. There's gonna be more on this side, but only these 3 on this side. I've seen engine mounts that only use water pump bolts, so I'm not worried too much about it.
So here we have our cardboard aided design on the aluminum piece, and that's pretty much how it's gonna go. Actually, I have to cut some of this over here, I forgot. This side, the cardboard piece kind of went before that, but remember we had a gap, so I kind of like measured how much it is and edited it and kind of recreated the place. It doesn't really have to touch here because there's gonna be 2 bolts holding it.
Well, this was very long. The blade that I have on my saw is pretty old, so it takes forever. But luckily, I have another tool that might cut it much faster. So let's try it.
And the tool is my Everlast Power Pro. It doesn't only TIG, it cuts, it also has plasma cutter. So let's whip that. I've never cut aluminum with it. I have to kind of switch it and attach the plasma cutter torch to it. And bring some air, the air hose, pretty much set it up, and then we'll give it a try.
All right, we're all set. Converting it from TIG to plasma cutter took probably 1 minute, and I'm ready to go. Wow! Wow! I mean, I've never cut aluminum with this. It's amazing. Every time I'm so surprised how well this works. You guys saw how long it took to cut that and how long it took to cut this. It's insane. Next. Pretty unbelievable, like mind blown how fast this went. Like I know for some of you maybe this is not that big of a deal, but I don't get to use my plasma cutter a lot, and like it's wild. Like, and it's pretty thick. It's like a 1/4 inch aluminum, and aluminum takes more to cut than steel. So, and it went through it like butter. You know, like the cut isn't the super clean cut, but I can just clean that real quick, and it's gonna be perfectly fine. Versus like I don't even know, at least like 7-8 minutes it took to cut one side, versus it took like 3 minutes to cut the rest. Pretty wild.
Alright, so here is the result. I did have to go and trim this side a little more on the grinder, and that side just a little bit. And my fear that the intake manifold is not gonna fit has come true, I guess, because I had to unbolt the manifold. I didn't want to like cut the plate before I know how much I need to cut the plate, but it looks like I'll need to cut a lot. I decided to just unbolt the intake manifold and fit the plate first, and then kind of mess with it and see how much I need to cut off the plate. Other than that, it's there, it's sturdy. The machine quality from Motion Raceworks is pretty good. All the bolts fit nice. I'll have to put the bolt here and here. Well, my alternator is going to go here, so it's going to sandwich this part nicely. I have to start making plates that's going to bolt here. So I think I'm going to just make a reinforcement plate over here, because the BMW frame rails are not known to be super strong. So I made a piece like this, and it's going to kind of curve around. Now I have to cut it from metal, bend it, and it should fit here. Alright, with magic of editing, we have this piece over here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Yeah, so it's gonna go right here, and it curves around. So now I gotta make another one from that side. Magic of editing again. I have 2 pieces, one for this side, one for this side. 2 pieces for each side. Alright, so what I did is I have this piece and I had a piece of 8-inch steel plate and an 8-inch plate, so I pretty much put it like this, like so, and I traced it, then I cut the corners, and now we have this piece over here. And once this is on the car like this piece goes like that, and then I just drill 2 holes, and that's what's gonna hold the engine. Right, so now that we have all the pieces fabricated, we have to weld this piece here. I'm not sure how the welding is gonna go just yet, but for now, I have the piece. I gotta trace it around, clean the paint off so I can tack this and weld this in place. Something super important that I forgot. Now that I'm gonna tack the plates that are gonna hold the motor plate, I need as much accuracy as I can. Since we're gonna run the gaskets between the engine and the plate, we gotta have them now, because now the accuracy will matter. So slide here, slide this one here. Also, it's important to put these bolts in since I'm gonna have them on. So all right, so this is what we have. Kind of dark. That's how it's gonna go. And this is this side. Yeah, and this side. So what my plan is, cut these tacks, take this off, and TIG weld it. So that's how easy it is to switch this Everlast machine from a plasma cutter to a TIG. I mean, this thing is honestly like such a cool tool, and it's all in one package, and that's the best part about it. You can just cut or TIG, and you don't have to have 2 machines, and it's just great. This is how the welds turned out, as you can see. It's overall not bad. I'm always out of practice with TIG because I do it like maybe once in a few months.
This technically should be strong enough, but me being me, I made these tabs. They're super tiny. I'm gonna have them like this. Where is it? It's a little freaky that this is gonna hold the engine. There's gonna be something else limiting the engine from moving back and forth. I'll show you guys later.
Here we go. Damn, it's turning out pretty good. Here's fresh off the welder, not cleaned, not anything. And this side, less light on this side, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty hot, but it's pretty cool. So, very important moment. Same drill bit on each side. Let's see if it lines up. Okay, this one, not really. This one, all right, this one lines up, kinda. Not really, almost lining up. So I'm gonna take my drill bit and just try to drill through this. Alright, here comes nothing. So I found this, I have these bolts from E46 reinforcement plate underneath. I have spares. They're pretty cool. They have this washer that's gonna kind of dig into the plate and not move. So they're perfect. They're made for aluminum. So just those go in. And then I might get better nuts, but that's what I have right now. So this is what I'm gonna use. Here we go. All right, so the bolts are tight. Kinda, I still have to get everything out and clean and paint. So they're not super tight, but it fits pretty nice. Let's see over here. Like I said, I'll most definitely get new hardware. This is kind of old and ugly, and I want something looking pretty. But that's how it is. Alright, so I spared you all the boring parts when I had to clean and scrub, and pretty much I even had to drive to Harbor Freight and get this super useful actually brush. It's thin, so I could slide it in between the frame rails and the new bracket, so that really helped a lot. Other than that, I masked everything and now we're ready to start spray painting it. As you guys see, it turned out very good. The black metallic paint really works good on stuff like this because the rest of the engine bay is painted the same, similar kind of paint, but the metallic kind of gives it like, hides the imperfections, hides the grinding marks and all that stuff, so it turns out really good. So I'm gonna finish this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Put a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.